Native News Today. And good Saturday afternoon, everybody out there. Hope you're having a wonderful one. We are glad you are joining us right here for Native News Today for this week. Got a lot of great things coming your way. And first off, I want to tell you about what we've been doing this week. We went to Tulsa, Oklahoma at the Cherokee Casino there in Catoosa, the Cherokee Casino and Resort, actually, for the first ever Intertribal Emergency Management Summit. A lot of information sharing there between the emergency management departments at the Muskogee Creek Nation, as well as many other tribes there. And the Muskogee Creek Nation actually putting that on there. James Nichols and his staff at the emergency management office here at the Muskogee Creek Nation doing a wonderful job, and we'll visit that summit and let you know what went on there. That'll be the first thing going on this week. And also, I have to tell you about it. We got Mr. Gerald Wofford coming back. Gerald's Travels. Love having him on the show. And one of the things that he's going to be doing is traveling around. As I mentioned this last week, gave you a little information on some of his things. But this week, Gerald is going to explore the letter F. Now, he brought us farmer, fashion, fry bread, and football. We're going to visit all of that stuff and more on this week's episode of Native News Today. And we'll come back and we'll visit the Emergency Management Summit, and then we'll bring in Mr. Wofford. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. We'll be right back after these messages. All right, as I mentioned, our first story off the bat will be the Emergency Management Summit, the Intertribal Emergency Management Summit, the first ever put on by the Muskogee Creek Nation at the Cherokee Casino there and Resort in Catoosa. And everybody was out sharing information, making sure that the tribal citizens of each tribe in this state have the required information that they need in case of emergency. Sometimes things happen. We don't ever want them to, but always got to be prepared. Better safe than sorry, as the saying goes. So with that in mind, James Nichols and Phil Booker and Sylvia Tulsa, everybody there at on the staff at the Emergency Management Office for the Muskogee Creek Nation put their heads together about 6 months ago and came up with the idea to have the Intertribal Emergency Management Summit, make sure everybody has the required information, make sure everybody's going to be ready in case of these unfortunate incidents do occur. So with that in mind, we got to chance to go down the road and visit this great event going on, and here's what happened at the Emergency Management Intertribal Summit. We're here at the first annual Emergency Management Intertribal Summit, and we're talking with Andrew Reeder here from OK First. And Andrew, just tell us a little bit about your little setup here today, what you got, and the kind of information you're sharing with the folks here today.
Sure. Well, the OK First program, it's a public safety outreach program for emergency management, fire, police. What we try to do is put weather information in the hands of decision makers during hazardous weather and provide them the information and the training they need to make better decisions for their communities.
Absolutely, and here in Oklahoma, that's certainly a good bit of information to have at the tips of your fingers there, and really that's the way it is. You guys have it set up. I mean, the guys at the emergency management offices at the different tribes can get hooked up with the system and know, before anybody almost what's happening out there with the weather.
Absolutely, and it's not just severe weather, it's winter weather, fires, all the different things that impact Oklahoma, and it's a year-round sort of event. So giving them the information kind of gives them a leg up on the situation.
Now, do you guys do summits like this a lot? You go out and have informational booths set up at places like this?
We do a lot of the Oklahoma Emergency Management Association conferences. We got invited to the summit, which is fantastic. We really want to encourage a number of the tribal nation emergency management offices to come in and come through training, get access, and really utilize the system that we have.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
You bet.
We're here with the Muskogee Creek Nation representative from our emergency management office there at home base, Mr. Phil Booker. And Phil, I know for you guys it's got to be great to have something like this to where a lot of information can be shared.
Yes, this is what we've been putting together for about approximately 2 years. We started talking about doing the Intertribal Emergency Management Coalition, and about 6 months ago we put our heads together. We had some funding come in, and we wanted to get that funding spent. We got until the 1st of July to get it, and we said let's do a summit. Hopefully we can get this going for an annual event, moving it down south, back up north, back down south, and then getting with other tribes in other states that they've started doing the Intertribal Emergency Management Coalitions in other states right now off of our doing it. And if we can get that going, we're going to try to branch out and do regional ones and national ones. That's what our goal is.
It's a wonderful job here, and look around, certainly a lot of information being shared, a lot of people here. How important is it that the tribes work together really in inter-networking and making sure that if there are situations in other areas that we can share our information, maybe even if it's not affecting our area?
Yeah, that's really important, and we've done that in the past without networking with some of the folks, just because we know the tribe east of us, of our boundary. They might know the tribe north of us or who to contact when emergencies carry over. Disasters don't have boundaries. So we were surrounded by other tribes, and other tribes have looked to us for help, and we've looked for them for help. And it's you got to work together with the counties and the other tribes and the state and the feds. Everybody's got to work together.
Absolutely, and this is the first one here for Intertribal going on, and like you said, there's going to be more coming, and like to do this annually, and maybe even move it down south, like you said. So a success here with a lot of information being shared, but also want to say it wasn't too taxing on you guys, was it, throwing all this together? I know you've been working on it pretty hard.
Yeah, it's been pretty hectic for about 3 to 4 weeks now. Sylvia, out of our office, Sylvia Tulsa, she's probably put the most input in on the subcommittee. Her and several other ladies and a few of the guys and stuff. To myself, she would tell me what we're doing. We've got other things going on in our department besides emergency management. So I've been carrying on with that, but she's been focusing on this, getting everything taken care of, and registrations and all the intricate details,
Doing a good job here, Phil, and certainly got a lot on your plate, so we'll let you get to it.
All right, thank you.
All right, hope everybody enjoyed that story there, checking out the Emergency Management Summit. And from what I hear from those people at the staff at the Emergency Management Office, they want to do that every year and make it an annual event. So be looking forward to that this time next year. But without further ado, I want to bring on number 13 in your programs, number 1 in your hearts, Mr. Gerald Wofford. Come on in here, buddy. And good to see you again this week. Hey, got a lot of things going on for you this week, but as I mentioned in the opener, kind of a Sesame Street theme with the letter F. Did you plan that, or with football, fry bread, farmer, and fashion? What's going on there?
Well, one of the unique things about doing the Native News Today program, a lot of things happen magically.
Yes.
And sheer coincidence, magic, your call.
Yes, we make magic happen here. That's exactly right. Speaking of magic, you got to be excited about your Celtics in the finals. A little throwback to the old days of Bird and Magic, Lakers, Celtics. Well, it's all happening again.
Since you brought that up, I have to admit, yes, I'm a diehard Boston Celtic fan, and it's great. It's been 21 years, 1987. Things have changed a lot, but the Celtics are back.
Hey, that's got to be exciting for you, but I don't think it would have been near as exciting as your opportunity this past week to go and visit a very famous Native American actor. Been in some real good Indian films out there, some cult hero films, basically. You talk about Powwow Highway, you talk about Smoke Signals. Gary Farmer, and the guy plays a little harmonica on the side too, doesn't he?
That's right. We got to spend some time with Gary Farmer. He performed a live concert at the Osage $1 Million Elm Casino last weekend with the Native Fusion, along with Keith Sokola and some others, and gave us a great interview, a great actor, great talent. What can you say?
What else can you say? We'll let him take it away right now.
Okay, we are at the Native Fusion concert at the Osage $1 Million Elm Casino right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And for a lot of you out there watching, you don't know who this guy is, but a lot of you do. I think more you know who he is than you don't. Talking about none other than famed Native American actor, musician, Mr. Gary Farmer. Mr. Farmer, appreciate you joining us here today.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Now, your specialty is the harmonica. Tell us about your inspiration for playing that instrument.
Well, I didn't go to residential school, but I was sent off to school, in a college and stuff like that, and it felt like residential school, I can imagine what the people felt like, because it's just a weird environment, and the harmonica was my friend from teenager all the way till now. I'm 55 this year. So I started to express my music through the harp always, but I never had a band until about 5 years ago, and we've been playing hard ever since.
Well, Gary, of course, you're here playing your music, and everyone's finding out that, hey, you got a lot of great talent up there on the stage playing the music and everything, but a lot of people know you more with your movie career. You've been in a lot of great films and everything. Tell us, what do you enjoy more doing, the movies or the music?
Well, you know, I like both. I'm just got to work creatively. If I don't have a active career because of the way the television industry changed, and with reality TV and with 9/11 and people of color are more out now than ever, it seems, and so the music is a great thing for me to turn to because I got so much to give that way in terms of telling stories. You know, I've always done it, so I don't know anything else but performance. You know, I can't go clean no one's barn. I mean, going to drive nobody's toxic chemicals across the country. I'm not going to dig a mine. I got to sing from the heart, and that's how I want to survive. So I'll just go and play every reservation this side of Mississippi if I can, you know.
Now, talking about your movie career again, what was your favorite film to work on and why?
Well, you know, I met my first wife in Powell Highway, so I can't deny that. And Smoke Signals had it was just a great thing for the community and for all of us who were involved. And Sherman writing that great story. But for me, it's Dead Man, you know, working with Jim Jarmusch. It's a really arty film. We won the Best Foreign Film. It was the first American film ever to win Best Foreign Film for the European Academy Award. And I'm really proud of that film because I did some special things to prepare for that film too. So I hope you all see it at some point. It's kind of crazy, but you know, you can't stay stupid white man 20 times in a film, and maybe that's why I'm not working too, you know. So that's all right. I love that film. It was nice working with Johnny Depp, you know, at that level.
That was going to be my next question because there was a couple Indian girls back here that wanted me to ask you that. What was it like working with Johnny Depp?
Well, you know, he's a good drummer. You know, he's a great drummer, and he's a good guitar player too, and we jammed, and that was fun. So he's from Kentucky, you know, originally, and native root. We never talked about it, but Johnny was a great guy. I really appreciated when he came and played with me. You know, that was nice, you know.
Native talent, Gary Farmer. Gary, all the best luck to you, and we appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
All right.
And we're back here, and I know that had to be really cool being able to check out Gary Farmer and the I believe it's the Barnstormers. Is that right?
The Barnstormers. That's right.
That's right. That's the name of the band there, and Gary plays the harmonica there and speaks in the native tongue, and very good to hear somebody keeping the native languages alive out there. I got an email the other day and from the Native American Resource Center, Tulsa Library. We do a lot of work with Teresa Reynolds. You and I have before on the radio, I know, but Teresa Reynolds and them doing a wonderful job there preserving languages too. So I think you're seeing more of a language revival going on, and they certainly do a good job here, and the Cherokee Nation as well. So it's good to hear Gary speaking it. When people can hear people like Gary out there speaking the language, they can get excited about it too.
I tell you what, Gary is just pure 100% skin.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he is just going to speak his mind, telling all the great work that he's done in music and in film. And, you know, just talking with him, man, it's just like, you know, just talking to your next door neighbor, you know, who happens to be Cheyenne.
Yeah, I was going to say, next door neighbor,
know.
if you live on a reservation, that is. I mean, Gary, that guy, he's all Indian, like you said, 100%.
Yeah, and of course, when you're with Gary, you don't have to make those reservations
That's
or
exactly.
anything.
Da-da-ching, play on words there.
But hey, now since we're telling on each other here, Jason had alluded that I'm a Celtic fan, which I am. After telling this man too here and doing the drums, since we're in a kind of a musical theme here, this man is a accomplished drummer as well. Okay, he plays with bands and different, and we'll hire.
Yes, a drummer for hire. No, I dabble a little bit from time to time. I hit the calf skins every now and again, but it ain't. It's not. I try to be a little modest about it. But thank you, Jared. I appreciate that. But we were talking about how Gary Farmer is 100% Indian, and another thing that is 100% Indian all the way is the Well, the fry bread, Gerald. Cue in the picture there. Nice job, Jared. And got right behind us here, the Indian staple, if you will, the cultural icon. I'm serious now. The cultural icon, the fry bread, and the Indian taco.
Jason, I don't think that's a stretch. You're describing that very accurately, a staple
Yes.
of Native American life in general. This food transcends all Native cultures.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
everywhere
be,
you look, any tribe.
Yes. I mean, you can be in Arizona, or you can be in Florida, or up in the Dakotas. What's Indian taco? Everyone knows.
Everybody speaks the same language, Indian taco. And if you look on this one back here, I hope that cheese graded on there is commodity cheese, because there is no better cheese in the world. I think we all know that.
That is correct, and of course with our watching audience out there, it's around the midday, close to the noon time, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that many stomachs are growling out there.
I guarantee you they are. Somebody's going out looking for a fare or something like that. But that's a good thing. Most people that aren't adapt to the Indian Native American culture and are around Indians all the time, like we have the pleasure of being, the only time they get one of these is at the state fair or something like that. Well, we can go every weekend, at a community center or a fundraiser or something like that. They got some Indian tacos, so we're very blessed around here. But
yes, we have unique opportunities. We could probably walk out in the hallway out here somewhere, and somebody's going to, drop us a fried bread or something.
But the good thing about it is, me and Gerald, I don't know if it is a good thing for everybody out there else eating them. Is me and Gerald, we really are not cooks. We don't cook the stuff. We've always enjoyed it, but we never really cook it. We leave that up to our great Native American women out there that do a wonderful job and really know how to do it the right way. And the great thing about it is that why are we going to talk about it anymore? Let's let these ladies that get their hands dirty with the dough and everything like that. Let's let them tell us about it.
Yeah, we went to Fry Bread 101 class, and of course, alluding to our cooking abilities, no one microwaves like us.
That's right.
But these ladies here got fry bread down to an art.
The Indian taco really didn't become popular here in the state until probably the early or late 68 and 69, 70, or earlier than that maybe.
It depends on the taste of the people. I think every tribe claims it as their own. I mean, because, in the West, Southwest, they call it Navajo taco.
Cheyennes back here, they have the Indian. They use fry bread. They was not really fry bread and beans. Was a staple for them.
But again, there's a difference in the size and the thinness, of theirs. It's almost like a tortilla, but it's a flakier,
The other stuff, lettuce and tomatoes. Indians didn't have lettuce and tomatoes and stuff like that until later on, and so that's basically an added ingredient. And I think they kind of saw that when they saw the regular tacos. They see that lettuce and tomatoes and stuff on it and cheese and stuff. Not unless it was commodity cheese. And
so, but we even have non-Indians making Indian tacos, especially in Okmulgee. But the ingredients are the same: the lettuce and the tomato and the cheese.
I learned how to make mine from my dad. Instead of making them round like this, he would cut them and make them in kind of rectangle shapes and stuff. So they weren't the round kind here like they're making for the tacos.
What I make mine in self-rising flour with buttermilk, okay. But different people do it different ways. So I'm used to the round, big, flaky, thin kind of fry bread. That's with my Navajo mother-in-law.
Well, I think I've been in every state in the Union, Gerald, and I've seen the different tribes, the ones up north and the ones in the southwest, and here in Oklahoma, and you see all of everybody has their own little recipe or their own little secret, and some of them will give it out and some won't.
Right, theirs is flatter and bigger, like the size of a plate. And the ones that we're serving here are more fluffier, and they're a saucer size, I would say. The Navajos is like a plate size, but they're thinner, and make it about the same way, but they slap it around more. No.
I encourage all the younger ones to learn how to do this, because us old folks, we're getting old, and so these are some of the things I would like to see the younger ones do. And it's not that hard. You know, people say, "Well, I can't fix fry bread." I said, "Why not? There's nothing to it." But you know, you have to get the feel of it first. You know, and it takes a couple of tries, and then pretty soon you're fine. You know how to do it, and you got to have your grease hot enough where it'll fry it good, or it'll soak that grease up, and then you have greasy bread. So you have to, you just kind of have to try it.
And I think the good part about this, the best part to me, is the working together of the communities. You know, we're all in the same kitchen. We're all from different communities, but we're working together for a common cause. And I think that's a great part of it.
Turtle shells, ribbon shirts, it's all part of Muskogee fashion. Gerald, people in Okemah this past week were immersed in Muskogee fashion. Tell us a little bit about it.
That's right. Instead of bringing out their Gucci bags, Jason, they had their Yuchi bags out there.
Oh!
The Okemah Indian community had their first annual Creek Traditional Fashion Show. Now, this was also to promote the Creek fashion, as we see back here, but also a chance for them to come together and to share some stories from the past, and just a good chance for everyone just to fellowship and have a good time.
Yeah, that seems to happen at any kind of Creek event you have, not only a fashion show, but say a cultural day or a homecoming service or anything like that for people out there, or family reunion, all types of stuff. It's a place to get together and usually eat and then visit and everything like that. So just one of the many things that Creek people get together and do, and we're doing it in a new way now with the fashion show here.
A lot of things happening in Okemah this weekend, specifically here at the auditorium. They have the Creek Traditional Dress Fashion Show, and I'm talking about the lady who helped coordinate it, helped put it all together, Miss Liz Yahola. Liz, tell us the reason why you wanted to put together such a unique event.
Well, during our community meetings, we would get together after our meetings and talk about old times, and we got to remembering things that long ago when we were little, what we used to see that maybe the young children today, the youth people, they don't know, or they may have heard it, but it's not getting down into them like it used to be. Different generations change, but we wanted to kind of like revive this thing, like, what do you remember when you growing up? We brought up subjects like noodling, fish killing, things that happened to us when we were little, and things we used to see our grandpa and grandma do or say, or how they act, or and we got punished for a lot of things. They could just look at us mean, or I remember my dad going like that, and I mean, you straightened up, you just barely got to breathe. But I mean, we had discipline, we had strict discipline when we were growing up, and we talked about things like that, and we talked about funny stuff. When Indians get together, they start laughing, they telling off on each other and everything, and I mean, it just kind of went from that. And so then we also felt like there wasn't really enough thing for the elders getting together, especially of different communities, and like say unity's being stressed. So we invited the other communities to come and participate, and come in your dress, and also tell us what you remember, and let us go over the old things, whether they're legends, true happenings, or what you remember. This is what we wanted to do, and this is kind of what we wanted to do today. I don't know. I know it's a busy time after school's out, but we selected this date. We had to change it before, but this is the date that we found that probably be the best, because Creek Nation Festival's coming up and everything. But we wanted to get something started. Maybe next year another community will want to start something. It doesn't have to be a fashion show. It's just whatever, get together, fellowship, fun sharing thing, and each community help one another, because that's how it used to be long time ago, was communal living and helping one another. I mean, that's how it was long ago, and we need to get back to that.
Well, from the participation we've seen this afternoon, it looks like everyone has really been enthusiastic about it. It's been a great community spirit, and I think a lot of people have learned a lot, even this afternoon, about some important Muskogee Creek history. Liz, we appreciate your time. Mado.
Mado to you. Appreciate your support. Come see us anytime.
All right, Gerald, last week you were in Dewar, Oklahoma. I know for a very special event, the Day of Champions Strength and Conditioning Camp for Native American youth out there that not only want to strengthen their bodies and get in better conditioning to play sports, but just for a healthier lifestyle overall.
Yeah, a very unique camp down in Dewar. There at the football field, Native American kids from around the area were invited to this camp. Trainers from several different NFL camps, coaches from around the country were invited, and just a chance to teach these kids about how to prepare themselves to be better athletes.
Yeah, staff on hand from such colleges as the University of Oklahoma, University of Arizona, as well as Mark Rosen, who has put the camp on and has developed the package of strength and conditioning that he feels works best for his clients and certainly for the Native American youth. And he's worked with championship athletes before, Olympic athletes as well. So Mark certainly knows what he's talking about, and it had to be a very beneficial day to all the youth on hand at the Day of Champions Strength and Conditioning Camp for Native Youth in Dewar, Oklahoma.
Got to get all the way through.
This is actually our first performance camp where we're bringing in and teaching kids, about how to develop from a nutritional standpoint to speed, agility, flexibility. So the components that make up good athletes, but also then that they can take components away with them from a healthy living standpoint. Because a lot of the kids maybe when they're done at high school aren't going to go on and play college ball, but they can take the principles from this performance camp for a healthy lifestyle that they can apply down the road for themselves. We've been real fortunate. We've got guys coming in, coaches from Arizona, South Dakota, Oklahoma, throughout the country, some of the best guys in the country, strength and conditioning coaches, performance specialists that we've brought in. So even with my background, I work with a lot of athletes, but we got coaches that work with high school athletes. We get some trainers that'll work with general population, and just teach them the principles of, like we say, general fitness and general nutrition, healthy living guidelines. Because even with our athletes, we teach that too, that someday your career is going to be over, and you want to take some of these principles we're teaching you, and how can you apply that to your daily life from, nutrition, and that flexibility is going to be key no matter if you're 60 years old or 23-year-old and going to college and playing, a sport in a college level. So we try to teach and implement those things to everybody we work with to say, these are things that we're going to teach that hopefully you'll take with you the rest of your life.
All right, Gerald, that's going to wrap the present and put the bow on top for this 104th edition.
The proverbial commodity cheese on top of the
Yes.
show there.
Yeah, on top of the show, yes. Grate it up, sprinkle it on top. What you've got is some great goodness.
Yes.
104 episodes of NNT.
You got those sprinkles right there on top.
Sprinkles, that's exactly right. You got to have it. And Native News Today, we're very proud to be still on here, CW 1219, going strong every Saturday at 1:30. And we know you guys have a choice when you embark on your television journey every Saturday afternoon. And we appreciate that choice is Native News Today right now. We want to thank you guys for watching. I know everybody out there appreciates what we do here, and we appreciate you for viewing as well. So for Gerald Wofford here, for Jared Moore, and all the great people here at Native News Today, we are going to put the kibosh on this week's episode, and we want you to come back next week because we promise we'll have more exciting stories, more informative stories, and we'll take a look at some of the things going on here around the Muskogee Creek Nation, of course. So we'll see you next week, same time, same place.